Can members please remain standing to sing the national anthem? You may be seated. The mic's out, so I can continue with I'll just read the one. I'll read the ones in red. Okay. May I take this opportunity to welcome all the guests as well as the media present in this special sitting. In terms of Section 128 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa of 1996, the Deputy Judge President designated by the Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa determines the date, time, and place for the special sitting of the legislature. I, Deputy Judge President A.P. Lidwaba, hereby give notice for general information by virtue of the power vested in me in terms of Section 128 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. I have confirmed Thursday, 6th of October 2022 as a date and at 12 o'clock as the time for the sitting. The venue will be the Selborne Hall in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature Building, Johannesburg. The nomination and election of the Premier of Gauteng Province will take place in this sitting. I now present to the House the returning officer, Mr. Vusi Musi, right Peter Skosana, and assistant returning officers, Mr. Ralph Chilwane, Ms. Genevieve Singh, Mr. Mpumelelo Madikani, Ms. Chimangazo Moupe, and Mr. Ishmael Murakile, who were duly sworn in on today in the chambers that the swearing in took place. I will now explain the procedure for the election of the Premier, whereafter we will continue with the process. I'll be calling for nominations for Premier. The member making the nomination will rise in his or her seat, read the nomination, and thereafter submit the written nomination on the prescribed form to the returning officer. The returning officer will verify the identity of every signatory to the nomination paper and report the result to myself. If there is more than one candidate, I will suspend the meeting for preparation of the ballot papers. When the meeting resumes, I will call on the returning officer to call out the names of each member from the official list. The member who has been called will come forward and collect a ballot paper to cast his or her vote by placing a cross against the name of the candidate whom she or he desires to vote for. After the member has cast his or her vote, he or she will fold the ballot form with the official stamp facing the outside and proceed to the returning officer / assistant returning officer at the ballot box. After the voting is completed, I will suspend the meeting and request the returning officer, together with his assistants, to remove the ballot box and all their papers to the room where the counting will take place. I will accompany the returning officer and his assistants to the counting room, where he will open the ballot box in my presence and, together with his assistants, count the votes. The returning officer will report the results to me, whereafter I will resume the meeting, announce and declare the candidate elected. I wish to indicate that the voting for the election of Premier is by secret ballot, and will now proceed with the calling for nominations. I now call for nominations for Premier and request that the nominations be submitted to the returning officer for verification of signatories. The following members have been nominated for Premier-elect. The first member is P.A. Lisufi, member of the ANC. The second member is S.T. Msimanga, the member of the DA.
Judge, there's hand is on.
Okay.
It's on the floor.
I'm going to ask for the formal nomination at this stage.
Recognize me, Judge. No, let's interrupt.
Honorable Maile.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Deputy Judge President. My name is Gauteng Maile, a member of this House. No, my name is Gauteng. Leave the colonial name. I don't recognize the colonial name. But I stand to nominate the Honorable Member Panyaza Andrek Andrek Lisufi. Thank you very much.
Any seconder?
Yes, JP. My name is Nomantu Nkomo Ralihuku. I stand to second the name of Andrek Panyaza Lisufi as our Premier.
Okay. I saw a hand. Is it Mr. Mukwebo? I recognize you.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Judge. It's Honorable Mukwebo, Deputy Judge. Sometimes I'll be in the list of blue lights. But I think the residents of this province, they deserve to get the word from the economic freedom fighters, because in 2019 they voted EFF to come to this legislature. But I can't forget to acknowledge my chairperson, Komisan Kuleko Dunga, there on top, just elected 2 weeks ago. Our chair, ala chair. So we...
Honorable Mukwebo.
You can howl and howl. I'm the leader of this party here, I must speak here.
Honorable Mukwebo. Honorable Mukwebo.
Deputy Judge, I heard your, I'm coming now where I am, yes, because I'm the leader of the EFF, right?
Yes.
Judge. So I'm following the sequence. But we want to tell this resident that Makhura is there on top. The police are looking for him for PPE scandal. And then the same nomination which is done here now.
We are dealing with nominations now.
The Department of Education is having a case against the leadership there. There's no one who has charged them. So, Deputy Judge, let me come as you come. Even yesterday in Randwest, ESCOM attacked the property of the
Mr. Mukwebo.
led by the ANC government.
Mr. Mukwebo.
So the ANC government fights this project, and they can continue running this
Order, please.
And we, the EFF, when it comes to top of their
Order, please.
Point of order. Point of order.
Okay. We are dealing with nominations. I recognize you, Mr. Nell.
Thank you, Honourable Judge. I think when members in this House rise, I must first make sure they rise. My name is Frederick Petrus Nell, and I stand on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, and I nominate Tshepiso Solly Msimanga for the position of Premier.
And any seconder?
Thank you. I, Member Kuzan Bosch, hereby second the proposal for Tshepiso Msimanga as the Premier candidate.
Can we have order, please? Any seconder for the nomination? Can you stand up, please?
Thank you. I, Member Kuzan Bosch, hereby second the nomination for Solly Tshepiso Msimanga as the Premier candidate for the Democratic Alliance.
Okay, thank you. Pardon?
You can call them to accept, check if they accept the nominations.
Okay. What's his name? Andrek. Mr. Andrek Lisufi. Honorable Andrek Lisufi, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you so much, Deputy Judge President. I politely and respectfully so accept nomination.
Miss, order, please. Let's have order. Mr. Soli Msimanga, do you accept the nomination?
Honorable Judge, I, Solid Sepiso Msimanga, do hereby accept nomination.
Thank you. Where? So are we going to go out? And then thereafter are we going out? Where is it? Where is it? Here. When I suspend, do we go out or? Okay. Suspend. And do we go out? I sit here. Important notice, because we've got 2 nominations, I suspend the House for the preparations of the necessary ballot papers. Should I come with you or I remain here? Okay. Okay. The House now resumes. May we be seated, please? The House resumes. I'm now going to call upon the returning officers to do their responsibilities.
Thank you very much, Deputy Judge President, honorable members. As a returning officer, I have with me my colleagues, and we're going to show you the boxes in which you're going to have to put your votes. And just to demonstrate that the boxes are empty, there are no ballot in each of the boxes. So these are the boxes. There's nothing even stuck on the side. So they're empty. And members will be called upon. Okay. Yeah. And this will be the ballot papers. At the back of the ballot paper, there is a stamp. So as you fold your ballot paper, please ensure that the stamp is showing, so we can be able to see that this is a valid ballot paper. Okay? So can you ask them to write the names? There's a problem. Okay.
I'm now going to suspend the House so that the bell can be rung for 5 minutes, and also for the rectification of the ballot papers. There was one minor mistake on the ballot papers. They will also be fixed in the meantime. Thank you. The meeting resumes. I now call on the returning officer to call out the names of the members eligible to vote from the roll call list. Over to you.
Thank you, Deputy Judge President. L.H. Mihwe. Aili Sufi. M.E. Kumalo. N.E. Mokheti. N. Komo Ralioko. Elma Ile. PJ Mamabulo. NM Mhlagaza Manamela. Nay. Nay. Here's the ballot. AWMK Musupye. Jenny, this is not stamped. Just check if they're stamped right. MD Shope. MPF Tau. NF Mazibuko. Timotara. ES Malubani Nkosi. MJ Kanyani. TE Makagula. BP Mngube. MG Mudise. Jidish Nieman. WM Mateke. Bacheke, JMPC, Dr. B.E.W. Masuku, MK Chilwani, RJ Kekana, Kekana. Please, I understand.
Come on.
BP Mabunda,
Who is it?
KP Dialetlabela,
You can call another one.
DP Malema,
You can call another one. It's empty, that's it.
DC Lidwaba,
You can call another one.
F. Hassan,
Remember what's
AR Mokhale, Dr. M.R. Paladi Dikhamela,
You can call another one.
Dr. M.R. Paladi Dikhamela,
She's here. Huh? Who did it? Come on.
Tindlovu, B.E. Letswalo, B.E. Letswalo, it's not here.
What? You can call another one.
S. Kanyile, S.M. Litsie, Polisi. Where's Litsie?
You can use that.
L.E. Makubela, A.A. Ndlovana, you can distribute from yourself now. I'm saying you can distribute from yourself. Okay.
From that side. No?
Yeah, sorry, Jenny, please ensure that they are stable.
I can call two.
S.T. Msimanga,
You can call another one.
Msimanga.
Simanga. Simanga, A. Yeah, the A is right.
Okay.
Call another one.
J.B. Bloom. I made a mistake. I made Msimanga on the ballot. It's me, I apologize. It's me. No, it's me, I apologize. Yeah, I know. Okay. I.E. Mukwebo. ADW Alberts, Bishop DK Adams, BW Dlamini, AJ Fuchs, B.A. Engelbrecht, N.S. Duplessis, yes, sir. Arnseke, N. Ramulifo, B.F. Badenhorst, K. Tong, R.B. Mnisi, M.F. Letwaba, C.W. Mabala, W.D. Pitch, W.D. Pitch, W.D. Pitch, A.M. Randall, R. Robinson, E.P. Duplessis, yes, A.W. Cilliers, F.P. Nell, F.P. Nell, J.J. Hoffman, A. De Lange, K.C. Mazwi, M.R. Mufama, A.G. Chitangano, N.D. Khatebe, Escoma, M.H. Shirota, M.S. Chabalala, J. Miller, J. Miller, C. Bosch, S.P.J. Dos Santos, S.P.J. Dos Santos is not here. N.M. Diache, PJ Atkinson.
Honorable members and the guests, the voting is now completed. I'm going to suspend this meeting and request the returning officers, together with his assistants, to remove the ballot box and all their papers to the room where the counting will take place. I'm going to accompany the returning officer and his assistants to the counting room where he will open the ballot box in my presence and together with his assistants count the votes. The returning officer will report the results to me, whereafter I will resume the meeting, announce and declare the candidate. The meeting is suspended.
How are you?
Mr. Makhura, how are you?
I'm very well.
Over phone is just looking.
How are you? I'm David Makhura, sir. In case you forgot my name, because of title. Are you good?
They still call Shilowa Premier, so
Yes.
You are not. I'm the only one who's allowed to call them that way. I'm not doing a briefing.
No, it's not a briefing.
I'm sure that the guys.
Now it's 5 minutes.
Sunda.
Yes. No,
Bali. Oh, here, sorry.
I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm just happy.
Yeah, that's the feeling.
That's what we want.
To be a citizen.
Kosi, can you see him?
This morning I woke
Okay.
up and walked.
He's about to start speaking to us. Okay.
Please lead.
Okay. Are we all ready?
Lead with the question.
Okay. Ms. Makhura, yesterday was your last day in office. If you can just give us a synopsis of how you're feeling in this moment as here in the legislature, they will be welcoming a new premier today.
Yes, we had our last executive council meeting. That's the provincial cabinet yesterday late afternoon. And that provincial executive council elected an acting premier so that in between my term ending, my resignation coming into effect, which was at midnight, there's no vacuum. So an acting premier was appointed by the executive council. I bid farewell to our executive council yesterday. I woke up this morning as a citizen of Gauteng who doesn't have any position in parliament or the legislature here or in government. I took a walk around as I usually do, and I listened to the birds singing. I saw the sun dancing as it rises. This is what I used to do every morning. But when you have responsibilities, sometimes you are up on Okaimulao at 5 o'clock. You've got to be in Orange Farm or in Soshanguve. So this morning I started doing the things I used to do. And also observed nature's message that seasons, I was also seeing that seasons are changing. That again, they may have been a winter, but they will be spring. I looked at the trees that were blooming. I walked around and said, yes, seasons are changing. That's the way nature works. And I am very pleased this morning that when I woke up, I said, I'm going to be there when Gauteng elects its 7th premier. I was the 6th premier. I have worked extremely hard to make sure that there is a smooth transition. And I'm glad that by all accounts, MEC Panyaza Lesufi is going to be the 7th premier of Gauteng. I know deep down that he is going to take this province forward. He's the most capable man. He knows the program of where to take Gauteng. So I'm very pleased. I'm back in my neighborhood in Midrand.
All right.
I'll see you in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
To announce the results of the new premier of the province as we rush that side now. For
There was no A on it, and in my view, It's not a material defect. It's just a typo. And I can also just mention that the Honorable Msimanga is aware of the typo, and he does not regard it as a material defect. I'm informed that there were supposed to be 73 votes, and as we did the counting, it was clear that 12 members were absent. And as we looked at the papers, the ballot papers, one member abstained. And we were left with 60 votes. And those 60 votes are as follows: 22 and 38. 22 for Honorable Msimanga and 38 for Hendrik. To deal with this one and invite him to make, when he comes here, where do I sit? Honorable Premier, kindly do proceed and make your acceptance speech.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Madam Speaker, Honorable Ntombi Mehwe, our acting Premier, Nomantu Nkomorali Huku, Deputy Speaker, Nomvuyo Mhlagaza Manamela, our Chief Whip, Mzigaifani Kumalo, our Premier, David Makhura, Deputy Judge President, Judge A.P. Lidwaba, ministers and deputy ministers that are present. I've seen Minister Enoch Kondongwan, I've seen Minister Njimo Tsecha, I've seen Deputy Minister Zizi Kodwa, and other ministers that are here. Members of the Executive Council, Executive Mayors present, members of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, I've seen Member Dakota here, and other members of the NEC that are here, our alliance partners, our Provincial Secretary, Comrade T.K. Lionel Mnisa. Leaders of other political parties present here, members of the Provincial Legislature, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, members of the media, the people of Gauteng. As long as our townships are still the way they are, our freedom has not arrived. As long as we still have informal settlements, we have not accomplished our tasks. As long as we still have dirty and smelly hostels, we have not achieved our goals. As long as our people in rural areas struggle to get water, then our mission for a better free South Africa must continue. When young people qualified, yet they remain unemployed, we should then double our efforts for the true economic growth of our province. So today's occasion is not something to celebrate, but a reminder that we must serve with integrity, humility, and dignity. We should forever remain sensitive to the imperatives of our Constitution to conduct ourselves with probity and always act in the best interest of the people of this province. Madam Speaker, I refuse to accept that all of us came here to elect one person to be the Premier of our province. What we have done was the election of 16 million people of Gauteng to be the Premier, not me. In my home language, they declare, and I quote, "Monoana uti autopitor," or beautifully captured in Chivenda when they declare, "Munemuti autusi matoto." It takes all of us to pick ourselves up. Our citizens are confronted with many challenges, but we must remain firm to defend, shield, but most importantly, serve them. Today, honorable members, is not a day of speeches, but to acknowledge and appreciate the vote of confidence bestowed on all of us to lead our province together. I want to take this opportunity to affirm one thing, that I'm just a last servant that must conclude the last part of our administration that was led by our dynamic former Premier, David Makhura. The Growing Gauteng 2030, which is our current provincial plan of action, was introduced to cement and position ourselves nationally so that we can seize the opportunity to make Gauteng economy workable. Growing Gauteng together remains a blueprint that we must continue to implement even beyond the era of Comrade David Makhura. This blueprint was not David Makhura's blueprint. It was our blueprint, and we are proud to take it forward, Comrade David Makhura. It's a blueprint that wants a growing province. It's a blueprint that wants a Gauteng that should be better by 2030. It's the one that wants to encourage growth in terms of economy, jobs, and infrastructure. One that encourages skills revolution in education and health. One that calls for integrated human settlement and land release. One that calls for safety, social cohesion, and food security. One that calls for a capable, ethical, and developmental leadership. It also calls for a better Africa in the world and the need to have a sustainable development for future generations. This is our plan, and this is the plan that will continue to implement. We are just going to re-elect the new leaders that will be part of the Executive Council, and will go to our retreat, and on the basis of that, we'll come to account to the people of Gauteng how we want to make Gauteng better. As I have earlier indicated, today is not the day of speeches. I just want to state this. I'm taking over the reins from one of the humblest servants of our province. I wish to express my deepest gratitude to Premier David Makhura, on whose executive I had the privilege to serve for the last 8 years of his premiership. If you allow me to address him as Premier one last time, I wish to state that Premier Makhura led from the front and remain a hard act to follow. The masses of our people across the length and breadth of our province can attest to the impact he made on their lives in various ways during the years that he was at the helm of our province. I want to put it on record that Premier Makhura has been the driving force behind this change of leadership in our province. He initiated this change. And he confirmed the saying, when people say a good dancer knows when to leave the stage. Premier Makhura, we thank you for your ethical leadership, showing a high work ethic and dedicating yourself to the improvement of the lives of our people. Our province will remain indebted to you. Madam Speaker, let me also thank members of the Executive Council who have been my colleagues in both the 5th and 6th administrations of this province. We worked together very well under the visionary leadership of Premier Makhura, and there is no reason that we cannot continue in that spirit. Madam Speaker, as I have indicated, today is not the day of speeches. We will come back to this House to outline our plans on literally everything the people of Gauteng want us to tackle. There will be no holy cows. And I'm proud that the Minister of Finance is in this House. Me and him, we are about to sign the most important agreements on critical things that need to happen in our province. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a product of education and student struggles. When I joined the then banned Congress of South African Students, through the Tembisa Student Congress, I never knew it will be the beginning of things to come. I'm what I am because of the relentless struggles for a better quality education. Today marks the end of my lifelong partnership with the education sector, a pain I can't hide. I want to thank those that identified me, sharpened me, supported me, when I never thought that I'll be part of those that will fight for the struggle for quality education. I want to name the late Amon Msani, Patricia Maloka, Dr. Hwati Tindeza, but a special thanks is reserved to my mother, my mentor, and a person who guided me through my life, Minister Enji Mutseha and the Mutseha Committee. My sincere gratitude to the HOD of the department, Edward Musuwe, management and staff of the department, SGBs, teacher formations, learner formation, and all education partners. I'm truly sorry. I also want to thank members of the Education Portfolio Committee, starting with the former chair of the committee, Honorable Joe Mpisi, and the current chair, Honorable Matume Kopano Chilwa. If there is a model members of this particular house they must learn from, a model of mutual respect, a model of answering questions when you are asked, a model of respecting that we come from different political parties. That model is the relationship that I had with member Ramulifo, Kume Ramulifo. We worked together, and I hope this relationship will continue. You did what you expected to do. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm nothing without the movement of the people, the African National Congress. This is the movement of the people by the people. Thank you so much for assigning me to be an instrument of change, an instrument of liberation. To the ANC PEC, we have once more demonstrated that our unity agenda in that PEC is solid and unshakable. For you to unanimously present my name, represent and honor, I will never ever take it for granted. After the establishment of the new members of the Executive Council tomorrow afternoon, we'll go out for our Lekgotla, and when we come back, we'll indeed outline our plans, our programs, and our desire to service and work for our people in our province. I want to conclude by quoting R. Murdoch when he says, and I quote, "The world is changing fast. Big will no longer beat small anymore. It will be the fast beating the slow," end quote. So we need to move faster to be ahead of everything. To the people of Gauteng, let's get the job done. Let's grow Gauteng together. I thank you.
Allow me to thank you, all the honorable members, the guests, and members of the media for your cooperation in this sitting. Your collegial manner and how the voting was conducted will bring confidence to our people that there is still hope in the province of Gauteng. I thank you once again, and this brings us to the end of this sitting.